I stepped on a pop top and blew up my flip-flop and had to stumble my way back home. All right, Scott Bradshaw here with another FoShaw vacation travel blog. This time we're off to Treasure Cay in Abaco, Bahamas. Treasure Cay is a parcel of land just on the edge of Great Abaco Island in the North Bahamas. Quick little flight from Wilmington down to Miami, little layover, and then Miami right over to Abaco, Marsh Harbor. It is probably the smallest airport I think I've ever been to in my life. After a long trip like that though, we were hungry, got our car, went over to Snappa's in Marsh Harbor and had an absolutely amazing lunch. A recurring theme you'll note throughout this video is that Hurricane Dorian really did a number on Treasure Cay and the Abacos in general, including Snappa's. Snappa's had to be rebuilt, as did a lot of places that we'll visit on this trip. Looks to me like they've done an absolutely fabulous job. Abaco is really coming back. Our final destination on this trip is Bahama Beach Club up in Treasure Cay, about halfway up the island. It's about a 40-minute drive. But now look, what you're seeing here, we sped this up because we don't want anyone to have to sit through that. We're coming up on the one single stoplight on the entire island. And if you notice my windshield wipers come on, it's because I'm driving on the wrong side of the road, on the wrong side of the car, and I was trying desperately to turn on the blinker and reached up and turned on the windshield wiper. There are two grocery stores in Great Abaco and Marsh Harbor. I definitely suggest you provision up in one of these. Just real quick while we're here in the grocery store, one thing that I failed to mention earlier is that the baggers in the two grocery stores work on tips. So if you keep some cash in your pocket so that you can tip the baggers, right? So the grocery store was an adventure. We did provision up. The condo we're staying in had some groceries left in it. One of my friends owns the condo and told us there were some things there. And we're setting out now on the one highway that takes us from one end of the island to the other. Look, it's about a 40-minute drive, and this is what you see a lot of. Just a two-lane road, cars everywhere, a lot of trees that have just been stripped by Dorian, a lot of junkyards along the side of the road. While it ends up being a paradise while we're here, this is the other side of it. There's so much devastation. There really is no speed limit. It's kind of a suggestion. So we just ended up seeing what this little Nissan Japanese van would do and drove for 40 minutes until we arrived at the Treasure Cay sign. You can see the condition of the roads here. Again, the speed limit is kind of a suggestion. We're coming up on a fire department here in a second after this guy passes us running Mock Jesus. And if I'm remembering back to some of my fire department days, I think we actually donated a truck to either Treasure Cay or to Abaco. This isn't the truck, but I thought that was pretty neat. This is what we're here for. Bahama Beach Club. What an absolutely stunning place. As soon as we got out of the car, we had to go see this beach. Absolutely stunning. The water so clear, fish swimming right up along the rocks here. And the condo complex was just beautiful. Hey. We had the whole place to ourselves, and if you know me, and you know I have a camera, I'm gonna take every opportunity to get in a photo shoot. Did I mention we had the whole place to ourselves? Well, that's because the Fosters got hung up in Texas, mechanical issues on their aircraft. So we took advantage of the perfectly empty beaches, made reservations at the restaurant at Bahama Beach Club, had a wonderful dinner where this little bird kept hanging out with us. He was pretty cool. And then that was the end of our day. We were just spent. The next day, these knuckleheads finally made it. They had a long day. They were exhausted. Showed them around, got in the pool, hung out. Ended up that day with a little game of Uno, which would be a theme. The next morning, Wes and I got up and headed over to the Cafe La Florence in the Treasure Cay shopping strip. It's really the only place to shop in all of Treasure Cay. There's also a police station and a tackle store and a little convenient mart there. Taking this breakfast of champions back to the condo, you notice we're in a golf cart, and that's pretty much the preferred way to get around this place. After a hearty breakfast, we were right back in the water, and once again, me with my camera, you know I'm going to get in a photo shoot. With my photo shoot theme, this half of the FoShaw vacay group really only gets family photos when they come hang out with us on vacation. So every opportunity I get, I'm going to get them some family photos. Later that day, we actually found the keys to the boat and decided, why not? Let's go get on this boat and see what the rest of the Abacos are all about. The water is so clear, and really, we just pulled right up to the beach, as you can see here. They didn't want to get wet yet, so Chase kayaked them over to the boat. Once everyone was on the boat, we decided to head towards Green Turtle. We'll see you there in a minute. Just a quick note here as to why we stopped. This water is about 30 feet deep, and we were just absolutely amazed at how clear it was that we could see right to the bottom. Green Turtle is one of those places that is an absolute must-see if you get a chance to come over here. Went into the little shop, everybody piled in, and if you know me, you know I'm going to run into someone I know. But it turns out there was a guy leaving the shop here that was from Carolina Beach. Brandy and I spent a little time talking to him, and I went over to make us some reservations for lunch at Green Turtle Club. And wouldn't you know it, who do I run into? Nick and his family. If you don't know Nick, he is the unofficial ambassador in Treasure Cay. Nick and Mellie have a YouTube channel where they teach people how to get around the different areas of the Abacos and what things to see. They were gracious enough to share some of their squid with us since the local tackle shop was out of squid when we got there. So this is why it's called Green Turtle. We just got to go hang out in the bay and feed the turtles. Now I'll tell you right now, the missus does not like these stingrays that are coming around, but they sure did love to get up around her feet. We had gotten a pretty late start in our day, and we wanted to see a couple more things on the island here, so we headed back over to our rental golf cart, driving around, ended up at Pineapples, which was kind of a disappointment. So we left Pineapples, took in a little bit more of the view, then headed back to the boat to get back to the house. Little short boat ride back to the condo where we were going to get cleaned up, play another game of Uno, which will be a theme of every night, and then head off to get some ice cream before dinner. So we found this awesome little ice cream shop on Google. It was about a 35 minute drive away, but man, was it worth it. Pina colada with caramel. As you can hear right there, I had the newly added item, the Mr. FoShaw. After me, pina colada with caramel added. Everyone loved their ice cream, but it was time to head home and get some dinner and use some of those groceries that we had bought at the grocery store. One of my wife's specialties is meatballs, and let me tell you, they are on time.
Your home cooking is probably better.
We headed out to enjoy the sunset, play some frisbee, and end this amazing day. After filling our bellies with cinnamon rolls again, we decided it was time to head off to Grabbers and Nippers.
Randy, that's on my list. Hey, Dad.
We weren't sure exactly what to expect from the food at the beach bar, Grabbers, but ends up we were pleasantly surprised. And if you know me, everywhere I go, I'm either going to make a new friend or run into someone that I know. And let me tell you, Great Guana, no different. We had made friends at the condo the night before, had great conversations with them, and as we're getting ready to order our food, look who shows up. Our friends from the condo from South Carolina. What an awesome couple of couples and their kids. We had such a great time hanging out with them. And much like Nick and Mellie Alendi, we ended up running into them pretty much everywhere we went. The food at Grabbers was good. Grabbers though, your t-shirt and hat selection was abysmal. We didn't buy anything there. Paid our bill, left, and decided to make the walk over to Nippers.
All right, it's a 6-minute walk to Nippers. Alabama, we're from North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
I can't resist a photo shoot. But if you hand me your camera to take a picture of your group, I'm probably going to take a selfie first just so you know who did it. Grabbers, if you're listening, you need to take a look at what Nippers has done here. Their t-shirt and hat selection is on time. One of the main reasons that I wanted to go to Nippers is a good friend of mine's last name is Nipper, and he said, man, you have to get me a hat from Nippers, so I couldn't disappoint him. Now look, my family and I are not typically beach bar kind of people, but Nippers was a little different. It just had an awesome vibe, an awesome atmosphere. The colors are great. It was fun. It was not what we expected. There were some pretty amazing pools, lots of friendly people as you can see here. And compared to what we saw at Pineapples, this was just a completely different experience. I hadn't even been drinking, and right here, I fell. But luckily that Insta360 camera, it recorded the whole thing. Oh, and Nippers only has one frozen drink, and it's called the Nipper. Their website describes it as rum, 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 pineapple juice, orange juice, and grenadine. Man, let me tell you, it was pretty good. And our friends from South Carolina, yeah, they were right there on the beach. After hanging out at Nippers for longer than we thought we were going to, we ended up taking a walk back to Grabbers to get on the boat.
Alabama.
Get back. Short boat ride back to the condo. We got cleaned up and headed out for a date night. There was a lovely little restaurant around the corner called Treasure Sands where we went and had just a beautiful dinner, great sunset, great conversation, just overall a great time. All right, headed out, going to the boat. Gonna do some snorkeling somewhere around Great Abaco, maybe Hopetown, maybe Elbow Key, maybe Great Guana. Haven't decided yet. We're just gonna get the boat and see which way the wind's blowing. And on the Your Boat Money t-shirt, doing some advertising. Your Boat Money hat. See if I can find a couple places to put some Your Boat Money stickers. So, I
don't know about west of driving. Remember, left side of the road.
Does, I promise.
He's qualified to drive, although he's on the wrong side again. You're on the wrong side of the road.
So we decided on Hopetown, and as you can see, it is absolutely breathtaking. One of the best things about this trip is nothing was really planned. It was a disconnect, get away from the world, not work, and just kind of go with the flow, get on the boat and see what the Bahamas has to offer. And guys, Hopetown, it was one of those unexpected little treasures that we ended up at. When we first landed here, pulled up to the dock, asked the guy if it was okay to dock here. He said, yeah, sure, absolutely, whatever. Go up and enjoy the store, get some lunch. So that's what we did. We asked about lunch, and the lady in the store gave us a great suggestion to walk next door to Hopetown Marina. Well, it was kind of a sketch walk through the middle of this boatyard, as you can see there in the background behind the lighthouse, up a one-lane rock road, and then this is what we came to, Hopetown Marina. Pool, bar, absolutely beautiful yachts, and let me tell you, this was hands down the best food at any restaurant that we had the entire time we were in the Abacos. I believe we probably could have eaten here every single day.
All right, ready to go.
If I haven't mentioned it yet, the food is not inexpensive in the Abacos. This one was probably the only restaurant that was worth it.
Sorry.
Would you guys eat calamari? What did you get?
Working on it,
we're working on it, working on it, we're working on it.
Best food we've had so far while we've been in the Abacos.
After finishing an amazing lunch at Hopetown Marina, we decided it was time to go get in some snorkeling at a couple of spots that have been recommended to us. We stopped at Sandy Key and that didn't work out. We ran over to Mermaid Reef. I don't think we gave Mermaid Reef a fair shake, but we ended up here at a little cove that had been recommended to us by our friends from South Carolina. And it is one of the highlights of our trip. The water is so clear, the beach is pristine, and it's just amazing. I'm just gonna be quiet and let you enjoy this little view of Scotland Key and the cove that's in between it and Great Guana.
He's not gonna hurt me?
No.
You promise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no, he's gonna go in.
Oh, he's
gonna go
smart.
down.
You
Go see
can
him.
picture.
Get hard and look.
Picture.
We got an octopus.
We have an octopus. We have a baby octopus. It won't hurt you, baby.
You know what that means? He came up with somebody.
He did. He was on somebody's
Probably
fin.
in one of the conch shells. You think you're the coolest guy in the neighborhood, and then the Freeman pulls up. You know, I haven't given a shout out to the boat yet. My customer and my friend that owns the condo that let us stay here in Treasure Cay also has a 30-foot Grady White, a 302 Freedom, I think it is, with a pair of Yamaha 300s on the back of it. This boat has spoiled my wife. We have a 27 Everglades and we love it, but I think she could be converted to a dual console Grady White. I couldn't, but I think she could. You guys going at 'em this morning? Well, guess what? We're in the Bahamas and the power is out again. So the neighbors in the sailboat there behind the boat lift were nice enough to tell me to bring the boat down here to this dock and get everything tied up. These condos, which we're not staying at. And I told them, I said, watch, as soon as I get this boat tied up, the power will come back on. And I kid you not, I was just handing Brandia the last bit of things off the boat that needed to go to the condo, and the lights came on. Power's on. Welcome to Abaco. Hey, buddy. Hey. Whoa, come on.
It's our little hero. Because it's done everything we done.
So the kids had not been with us to the bakery yet, and they wanted to see the shops and the strip mall and the police station. So we took them up here to to see all of this before we ended up at dinner at Sunrise Pizza. I think it's the only pizza place on the north end of the island, and I said there were only 2 restaurants earlier, but there are actually 3 if you include this one. Great little spot, and as you can see, it has just an amazing sunrise. One thing I haven't mentioned yet, everywhere you eat, be ready, not for the cat, be ready for the flies. You see those little devices that are spinning on the table? That is one of 2 answers to the flies. There are 10 million flies on this island, and they will find you whenever food comes. You can do everything in the world to try and get rid of them. This and sterno was what most of the restaurants use, those little sterno cans to put off heat and carbon monoxide. But even that didn't work. As you can see, we were inundated with flies at every meal that we had outside. Treasure Cay is absolutely amazing. Some of the most beautiful beaches and the most flower-like sand we have ever seen. And it's just beyond me that we had this whole place to ourselves. There were almost no people around. So of course, you know me, I'm gonna take in every opportunity I have to get in a photo shoot with my amazing bride. Finally, we're gonna get some peace and quiet. We're gonna deliver the Fosters to the airport so we can have the place to ourselves for a little while. Jeez, Foster.
Goodbye, Fosters.
Hey, just a quick note here about driving in Marsh Harbor, Treasure Cay, Abaco area. There is no speed limit. If there is, it isn't posted. And I think even if it was posted, it would be more of a suggestion than anything else. Back to the tiniest airport I've ever been in and our return trip home. Wait for passenger number 15. I feel sorry for the guy. All right, our time here at Bahamas Beach Club has come to an end, and I want to give you a couple of highlights. First, look at this. If there's no other reason to come here, it's for this. The water, absolutely amazing. If you have a boat, this is paradise. You're just a few short miles over to Green Turtle Cay, to nippers, to grabbers, unlimited places. A couple of things to remember. The food is expensive. Be ready to provision and get your food at the grocery store. Prepare some meals here. If you're an entrepreneurial type and want to come here and start a screening business to screen in some of these restaurants to keep the flies off of you, I think you could make a mint. The flies here have just been absolutely awful. You cannot eat outside without the flies taking over. It's expensive, but we knew that coming into it. You're not gonna buy a pair of flip-flops. If you blow out your flip-flop like I did the other day, and luckily found some glue to be able to put it back together, so bring a spare pair of flip-flops. You're not gonna buy a hat or a t-shirt unless you buy one at Nippers or Grabbers or one of the places. I think I spent $100 on one hat and one t-shirt at Nippers. So keep that in mind. Bring with you what you need. Don't pack excessively though. Shorts, t-shirt, bathing suits, bikini. It's been phenomenal. The weather has been great. It was supposed to be a 50% chance of storms every day, and 3 out of the 7 days we were here, one thunderstorm built right there, and it just sat there and didn't move. It was just that direction. It didn't move the whole time. It just sat there. Be prepared for power outages, and out of the 7 days here, there were at least 4 days that we lost power. Sometimes it was for 5 minutes, sometimes it was for 3 or 4 hours. We tried to bring the boat back and put it on the lift at one point and had no power, so one of the neighbors was nice enough to let us tie up to their dock. Speaking of neighbors, I will say this place is friendly. The locals and the people staying at this resort and all the other resorts have just been amazing. We've met people from all over, especially the East Coast, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, South Carolina, a lot of those people here. My personality type lends it to one that I'll talk to a perfect stranger and strike up a conversation with them, and we'll be friends in 5 minutes flat. Be friendly to them, they'll be friendly to you. We've met some great couples here, some great people. The people in the sailboat behind the boat that we're in were nice enough to see me struggling trying to get everyone unloaded because there wasn't a dock, there was only a lift. And they said their friends stayed in condo number 5 at this other place and they weren't here, and they knew the gentleman whose boat we were using and said they won't have any problem with you tying up, so we ended up going and tying up at that dock. So just an extraordinarily friendly group of people here at Bahamas Beach Club. The staff has been great. The food was good. I won't give it great, but it was good. The beach bar is right there next to the pool and the hot tub, 100 feet from where I'm standing right now. We walked that way to Sunrise Key and walked 2 miles that way. I mean, you have the beach to yourself. Look, I'm gonna walk this way for a second and just let the camera pan over here and follow me so you can see what I'm talking about. There's a house down here that looks white, but it's actually purple. That's about half a mile, maybe 3/4 of a mile walk. And at low tide, you can actually walk right across to Sunrise Key, which is that little small island right there. And then if you look down this way, there's the last building that we can see way out there is the just reopened, what was the name of it? Sands, I think. I'll look it up and put it in the description below. But it's a restaurant right there at the very end of the island. That little yellow house, that yellow house there, which is really the first house you can see, is a mile away. Guys, there's 3 miles of beach that way and a half to 3/4 of the mile of beach that way. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm the only person out here. I'm the only person I can see. If you want to come somewhere where it's quiet, where it's private, this has been it. I mean, there are a lot of people here in the condo. I'm not sure where they are or what they're doing. They're probably on a boat. They're probably off enjoying that time because the wind isn't blowing and the water is calm. But it's quiet. It's peaceful. If you want a place to just come and sit and unwind and relax and not have to be bothered, not have to worry about all the things, shopping here and sightseeing here and doing all this, this has been a phenomenal place. If you don't have a boat and you're coming here, rent one. If you don't have a boat here, you're taking a ferry, which is another thing. I don't know that much about the ferries because we didn't use them. Nick and Mellie, they had their family down, so they were using the ferry to get across to a lot of these places. There's ferries that run to these other islands on a schedule. I'm not the person to help you there. You should definitely check out Nick Olinde's YouTube channel if you're coming here to Treasure Cay. He's kind of the ambassador, if you will, of Treasure Cay. I know we learned a lot about this area with his videos, with him, Mellie's videos. A lot of great information that helped us on our stay. Is this for everyone? No, this isn't for everyone. My son had an amazing time because he's the type that does not like a schedule and does not want things to be scheduled. So he jumped in that kayak in the morning, and I have no doubt he was just a mile off the beach. It was quiet, it was peaceful, it was relaxing. Bring a good book. My daughter and my wife sat on these chairs and read a book. It isn't for everyone, but if you are looking for a place to come and unwind and just be alone and be quiet and enjoy this, then this is a great place to be. Look, until our next video, I greatly appreciate you tuning in. I hope that this has been informational. Again, our host for this is a friend of mine and a customer of mine. For those of you who don't know, I own yourboatmoney.com, and I loan money for boats all over the country, and I have some of the best customers in the world. This place is one of my customers, and they gave us a great rate and a great deal to be here, and they allowed us to use their boat while we were here. If he's okay with me saying who he is, then I'll put that in the link in the description below. And definitely check out Nick and Mellie, Nick Alende's YouTube channel. I'll put a link to that in the description below as well. Look, that's it. Our stay here has been amazing. It's been peaceful. It's been relaxing. It isn't for everyone. Would I come back? I would probably come back with my wife, just the two of us, just to unplug and rewind, to unwind and just reconnect. It is a very peaceful and quiet place. Not your typical vacation resort. That's it for now. Look, I'm glad you guys came along with us, and I hope that this has been helpful. Until we meet again, enjoy.